Hey everybody, and welcome on back to our Minecraft Let's Build series here. We are working on this awesome vineyard area. Over the last few episodes, we have come in here and built up this entire place. It's looking so freaking cool. We got a manor house right here. We got a little storage room down there. And last episode, we came in and added our stables in here, which we have a mule in here, or a donkey, and then we got a horsey over here. So if you guys got ideas for names for those guys, I think they need some names. So let me know down in the comments if you guys have ideas for that. Beyond that, we threw a little pond area in right in there. Then we came over here, threw a cool wheat field in over here, which is looking pretty awesome. And that one in the back over there is still growing up. So we got 2 new wheat fields. And today, I think we're going to be doing a lot more work, bringing in some new fields, except today we are actually going to be building up the vineyard area. So we need to get some grape bushes in here, things like that, going throughout this entire area. That's what this area down here is supposed to be after all. I do want to go ahead and throw like an apple orchard area in over here, which I thought would be pretty cool. But before we get into that, I got a question for you guys. I'm always looking for inspiration for things to build in my own world. I always look towards what other people are building. So in the comments below, let me know what you guys are currently working on inside of your own Minecraft worlds, or what build you just recently finished that you are super proud of. Let me know down in the comments below. That would be awesome to hear about. I'm always looking for new ideas, so thank you guys so much for those. Anyways, today we got to go ahead and get right into things, and I have a bunch of coarse dirt and I got a bunch of gravel on me right here, just this shulker box. We're actually running pretty low on the resources in our world right now. We're actually going to drop that guy back in there, but we need to start getting some new things in here. Actually, I don't know why I got these yet. What we need to be grabbing first is we need to come in here, grab some of our dark oak fences over here, just a few of them for now, and then we can grab some dark oak leaves as well. And I want to show you guys what we're doing here for the designs for the vineyard fields themselves. Let's get a few more of those guys, and we can come on out here and take a look at everything that's going to be going on in this. I was thinking that we could go ahead and do a little bit more of a manicured pattern. If we come on up over here real quick, back towards the village, you can see this old vine type field that we were working on a long time ago. This guy we built up about a year ago now, using the dark oak bushes and leaves and everything, then using some fence posts to pile them up and everything like that. So they're kind of more big, bulky, stretched out lines, I guess you'd call it here. I want to go for something a little bit more manicured over here, since this is supposed to be a much nicer little area. So we can go ahead and take a look at everything down here real quick. Let me go ahead and sleep the night away, actually, because it's about to be nighttime. All right, it is back to being daytime, which is just perfect. And what are we working on today? I figured we could actually start directly from up in this area. I do want to leave a little clear space right about in this area, probably right here, so we can add in some new stuff later on. But I'm thinking for now we can go ahead and start our first line of the plants right here. So I want to dot it in basically every other block. We're going to be bringing our fence posts in. Then on top of those guys, we're basically going to be bringing dark oak leaves and just making this checkered board pattern right along here so that we can have an area to grab all the grapes, pick up everything, and go from there. And I was thinking on the other sides of these, we can basically go ahead and on some of them, we're going to just skip one block. So we're going to skip one block back going from here. And then we can go ahead and dot these along the same way as well, making it look like they're following the same pattern. And then on the other side, I wanted to go ahead and keep them 2 wide. So we have 2 blocks worth of space in here. And in those upper areas, we can make it a little bit thicker like that. But I want to go ahead and on these ones, we're going to basically go ahead and skip 2 blocks and start just bringing everything in like this. This allows us to create a little area for workers to walk through in the center, so that we can also add in a coarse dirt and gravel pathway that they can be walking through, so they have a little bit more room to work with. We can make it, again, look a little bit manicured and like people actually are working in here and all that good stuff. Then we can go ahead from here and grab out these 2 shulker boxes. That guy, that's all gravel. And we need to just go ahead and grab something like this. So we can go ahead and basically just bring this throughout this entire area here. And a few of these spots our terrain is a little modified in here. So we can go ahead and just kind of start dotting them in throughout here. I want these to be mostly gravel on this one, because I think the gravel will give a little bit of a better color to what we're looking at here. But then we can come back in with that coarse dirt. And in here, we're just going to do 2 coarse dirt and like this. And let's go ahead and do gravel. And we can do 1 coarse dirt right there. So our pathways are basically going to be looking like this throughout. And I think from up above and from a little bit of a distance, I think this is going to give us a great idea and just general view of the area. I'm really excited for what this one's going to be looking like. And I think we have that stretched across everywhere going throughout here. It's going to look really epic. So I'll tell you guys what. I'm going to go ahead and get these roadways in right here so we have a little bit of a better idea of what the actual pathways are going to be looking like, so we know where we're going to be throwing down the vineyard part of everything and the grapevines and all that good stuff. So I'll be back with you guys as soon as I get that done. Welcome on back, guys. So I went ahead and got our pathway in here. I have not touched that area quite yet. I want to do like a raised up area so it's not actually down exactly on the water. So we're going to leave that for now. We'll come back to it after we get our fields in place here, and I just want to quickly show you guys everything going on here. It's looking pretty good using a lot of those coarse dirt half slabs we have in the pack, which is really great, and it's looking awesome. I'm ready to take this pattern right here basically across this entire area. I've decided that I want to have another road coming out here. Then basically from there, I'm thinking we'll do like a diagonal line going on to there. And basically we'll have our little apple orchard back here, which we'll work on in the next episode probably. But it's time to kick this off into good old-fashioned time-lapse mode and get our fields planted here. I've decided that there's some magic thing within YouTube that as soon as you break over the 10,000 subscriber mark, you instantly start getting direct messages from hundreds of people saying, how do I make my own YouTube channel? And how do I do all this type of stuff? And hey, Whip, can you make my YouTube channel great? Hey, can you watch all my videos and make these super awesome? Hey, can you do all this stuff for me? Hey, what's your secret? What are you doing successful? Like, hey, blah, 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 all this stuff that's just everywhere. So I quickly want to jump in here and just let you guys know, all my direct messages on Twitter and Discord are always going to be open because there's been a lot of people who helped me along the way, and I want to be able to help you guys along the process as well. But I do have one thing to ask you guys. Please, before you reach out to me, do a little bit of research. Don't come to me with basically like, how do I create a YouTube channel? Come with some questions, and if I've talked about things before or if I've mentioned things anywhere. And also, please get to know me before you reach out. If you join the Discord channel and the first thing you send me is just a message of, hey, how do I make a Discord, or how do I make a YouTube channel? Chances are I'm not going to respond to you. Unfortunately, I just don't have the time to do it, which somehow, as I mentioned, I'm getting a million of these things, which is really cool. I'm really happy to help you guys out. But I just kind of want to set that stage and bring that up with you guys really briefly here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the time lapse so far for this. You can see that we made a lot of different field angles through here as the vineyard is growing throughout. We have some that are going just straight lines. We have other ones that are at slight angles, some that are just all different angles coming in here together, working with the slopes of the hills and the slopes of the area around it. Also just adding a lot of interest so it looks like it's flowing, which I really enjoy. I really hope you guys enjoy this one. I've had so much fun here. I'm recording the audio for this part after everything's finished here. And I'll be honest, I've been just flying around with shaders in spectator mode in my camera account, just taking a look at everything because it all looks so freaking awesome. And this is probably one of my favorite places in the entire world now. It's just this little section right here with the vineyard and the castle in the background and all that awesome stuff. But anyways, if you guys want to reach out to me, ask any questions, please feel free to do so. Just please ask questions that are thoughtful and not just, hey, blah, 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 do this thing for me. Anyways, let's jump into the world. Welcome on back to our vineyards, guys. I hope you all enjoyed that time lapse. I had so much fun doing that, and oh my gosh, walking down through this area is so crazy now. I am freaking in love with everything we got going on here. I love all the different angles of everything that we have going on. We have all the different varieties of how our vineyard crop lines and vine lines, I don't know what you would call a single column of these or a row of these or whatever, but how they all look here coming together is so cool. I love this. Wherever you're looking, there's just so much going on in here. It is a lot of the same color bush as you guys saw in the time lapse, but overall, I think it's worth it. I think this gives us a great idea of what we can and can't do in this place, and I think it's just really awesome so far. I really hope you guys enjoyed that one. Now, moving on into this area, I wanted to go ahead and work on this guy a little bit here so we could get something going on that'd be a little bit better. So if we count this out, I do want to go ahead and raise this up a half slab here so we kind of come up into this area a little bit more. So we want to go ahead and bring that across. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that gives us 4 blocks there in the middle like you. Maybe we want to go ahead and widen this out to one more right there. So we do that bit. Then we can bring our cobblestone into here. We'll need to change that guy out to a cobblestone slab right there and do a full block on that. Then basically what we want to go ahead and create out here is some area for the winemaker to basically entertain his or her guests. Let's see, what are we looking at here? That would be there, that is there. So that would bring it out to this guy. And then if we did there and there, that works perfectly. Now with how we have everything built up here, I originally wanted to do this as like a covered pathway coming down here, but I felt like that'd be a little bit too obtrusive with everything we have going on in this area. So I want to go ahead and actually change that up a little bit here and actually have a bit more of a covered area coming into here. So what I wanted to do on top of these is basically bring these up to being too high on our wall bits, going all the way around this if we can actually place these in here. And bam, bringing up these last two ones right there. Then what I was thinking on top of these is basically we could have some acacia leaves if we can even get these on here. All right, perfect, cool. That's exactly what we wanted. Then we can go ahead and start bringing these guys across and around and just making this look super colorful and very vibrant and bright, making sure it looks like there's a lot of growth going on over here. So these more or less are following some sort of a pattern going all the way around it. Now, I felt like that we could actually come back in here with some spruce trap doors and create a little bit of an area connecting up everything throughout this. So we have these bits right here, obviously, and then if we can, we got to go ahead and jump and then like place the block at the same time. And oh man, this would probably be easier if we just do that. All right, there we go. So much easier. Let's just go ahead. Perfect. Cool. We got all those guys in. But I wanted to go ahead and make it look like we have a wooden beam going all the way across here that these plants are more or less sitting on top of and kind of following the pattern. These leaves are growing across the whole border of everything we have going throughout this area here. So this one, obviously here is a little bit smaller in the center, and I think that's okay because I want that to be more open going throughout the whole area across. And then let's see, I want to actually go ahead and bring both these guys up and we can have an extra one hanging down there along the side. I think that'll be pretty good for what we wanted. And we can actually go ahead and have that one hanging down as well. But we have this central area right here where it just looks so fancy. It looks very, very fancy and very lush. And one thing I wanted was some more grass blocks because I wanted to actually go ahead and decorate those out. But it's not going to work too well on a diagonal line. So let me get some more real quick and we can mess around. To make it look a little bit more like potting soil instead of just having a bunch of gross blocks throughout here, I wanted to go ahead and bring in some coarse dirt instead of bringing in the grass. So we have a little bit more structure to all of this. And I wanted to, on the insides here, is go ahead and see what we can actually do to hide this behind these bits a little bit. Obviously on these diagonal ones, we're not going to be able to do too much. So I'm thinking we need to go ahead and find another way to make that work on the inside. Whether that is simply something as like placing, let's go ahead and get rid of you, placing that right there, or even like a crafting table or something like that, where we can have a little bit of a table, but we have these guys on the sides, basically bam and bam. We can leave those there as some placeholders. Then obviously on the outsides, we do have to deal with this as well, because that is a little bit difficult to make work. So I'm thinking we could do bam, bam, and then we could go ahead and get rid of you guys and bring this stuff down here and just mix it up as we go. All right, coming back down into this area, I thought it'd be kind of cool to add in some benches. I know that reveals a little bit of the dirt throughout here, but I think that's okay for what we're going for. Then beyond that, we can go ahead and grab our two crafting tables and do bam and bam, and that'll be okay throughout. I think that'll work for us. But what we could do actually is to get a little bit of extra height there to mix things up, is do that. I think that might actually be a good way of looking into it. Then I wanted to go ahead and basically we could have one large table right here in the center with a few chairs dotted around it, just so we could have some whoever the winemaker is here maybe has like 4 guests or something like that he brings down, and people can sit here, and then maybe their kids are sitting along the edge or something while the fancy meeting's going on. But I want to go ahead and strip the logs down and make them just look a little bit more fancy schmancy. We do need to figure out a way to get some lighting in here, but overall I'm really happy with the look we have right now for this. I did want to go ahead and bring in a little bit of that guy, as well as a little polished andesite and mossy cobblestone as well, to make it just look weathered down here. We want to make it look like this is down on the edge of a lake, because obviously it is. They might be scrubbing it clean and all that, but it is in the middle of a vineyard, so it's still okay if it's a little messy. Overall, I think this thing actually looks really awesome from around the general area, so I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of extra work detailing it out, and I'll be back with you guys as soon as I have an update on it. Okay, welcome on back. I went ahead and detailed this area out a little bit, and it's looking pretty freaking awesome. We have some great views of the castle in the background, soon to be finished. Hopefully, very, very soon we'll be finishing up that castle. And we got some bread down here. I went ahead and threw another flower pot in with a little blue flower in here to make it look more like a unique flower, because we got the alliums And we got our azure bluets on the side, and this is just one of those blue ones from the swamp over there. And I went ahead and brought him in. However, this area right here is looking pretty lackluster. And the area right along here out front, I think we need to go ahead and get some flowers just kind of groomed up. Maybe get some little sugarcane things like that poking up here along the edge of it, making it look more like the edge of the water. So we want to go ahead and do that. And I just want to show you guys the look from all this stuff up here. I have not even looked at this yet myself. And wow, look at that. Oh man, that is making me very, very happy. Well, come on back, guys. We've done a lot of work so far in today's episode, and I am really happy with all of it. We're going to get down to the water here really shortly to go check that stuff up. Just want to grab some buckets for a little thing that we're going to be adding in there right after this. But down here through our fields, I just love walking through these guys. I've been just walking up and down this area completely throughout the entire time. It's been so much fun. Up here, not much has changed really so far. Just really happy with that general look. I love being able to like sit right here and just look out at the castle, just see the different views of the castle, and I think it looks so cool so far. Out here, I decided to not go with a super heavy vegetation point. I came through once and added in a bunch of bushes and everything throughout, and a lot of different bits of detail. So we had all these big old bushes pillaring up all over the place, similar to kind of what we have going on up there. And it was just way too much. So I decided to take all of those out and just make it very colorful. Make it look like the owner of the vineyard came through here and planted a bunch of flowers along the edge and kind of gutted everything else out of the area so that it looked more colorful and more things for the people down there sipping their wine, meeting up with the winemaker could be able to look at while they're just peering out over this gorgeous castle building out here. I think it added a lot to the area, especially when we're looking at it from this angle, because if we just go like right here, maybe zoom in a little bit, and wow, that's looking pretty awesome. If I gotta say so myself, that is pretty great. Now, what I want to do with you guys next, there's two things I want to do for the rest of today's episode. One, I want to go ahead and add a little bit of a crop field right over here for some carrots. And I meant to go fill up my water buckets down below because we're going to be using those for both things. But before we do that, before we bring in the little carrot guy, I wanted to go ahead and plot out where our next builds are going to be, as well as bring in a well of sorts over there. So I want to go ahead and just get a few blocks on me right here that we can use to work with. Let's go ahead and bring those guys. That's going to be more than enough. Maybe we'll bring some dark oak if we want to use that as well. Yeah, let's go ahead and use a spruce roof. Everything else is dark oak roofs around here. Now, over here, I wanted to go ahead and add in 2 more little houses that would be owned by the people that are working in the vineyard. Obviously, that vineyard is massive, so we need a lot of housing for everybody who's going to be doing their stuff in there. Let's go right here. So I wanted, in that area, we're going to throw a well in. We got our well right there. Then over here, I wanted to have our housing area. So we have 5 blocks right there, would be that bit. And then if we actually went ahead and brought this out to 7, so it's 5 wide on the interior. So we can do something like this guy right here. And maybe that brings it out to 4. And then that brings it out to 5. And I think that'll be pretty good for us as far as the shape of everything goes. As far as we're just laying down a few blueprints right here that we can come in later. And I think that'll be good for us right there. Then there's a slime jumping around underneath. Then maybe we go ahead and do this guy. He can come in right here. What if we actually brought him right like that? So he just has a little bit more space to him. And then bringing him in right there. So it's 1, 2, 3. Then he quickly kind of juts around that area. Maybe he actually shares that part of the wall. I don't mind bringing parts of the wall out a little bit so that they're more controlled by what's around them. Then we can go ahead and bring him right throughout here. And then bring this guy back up a little bit like that. And maybe we take a little brief stint of the wheat field out, basically just cutting it back right to this block. I think that'll be pretty good because that'll give us a decent idea of the general shape and size and everything in this area. Helps us kind of bring in this area, make it look a little bit more like it belongs in here than anything else. So we got this guy right here. Maybe we actually go ahead and bring him out a block. So there's a little bit more space to move around in back there. Overall, just have a better idea of things going on. Let's go ahead and take a look at this from the sky though. Yeah, I think we can make something happen with that. I think we can get some good stuff in here. We're not going to be building these ones up today. We'll build up the well in here, but that'll be a pretty simple one. I basically wanted to go ahead and be bringing in, we have those stripped spruce logs over there, so I didn't want to use those. I was thinking we could go ahead and use the stripped dark oak and basically double stack these guys going all the way throughout, just making a super simple well design throughout here. And then we do need some water, obviously, to throw in here, but we also need to go ahead and figure out a way to bring our well down a little bit to make it make more sense throughout. So we probably want to go ahead and we'll make it a pretty shallow one. We don't need this being too deep. We want to make it look like, or we want it to be something that's accessible to us. There we go. We're down to stone right there. That works out great. Then let's go ahead and ender pearl out the top of this guy. We do have some spruce fences on us, and I wanted to go ahead and bring them in here, and we can stack them up to being that high. And then we do want to get a crafting table out of here and bring in a few more of our spruce slabs. And I was thinking we could basically go ahead and stack these guys right on top like this. And then we want to probably go ahead and bring that going all the way across the top right there. Nope, we cannot place that block in like that. And then bringing that one back to here and basically bringing these all the way around like this. So it's just a super simple flat top with just some beveled corners in there. Maybe we'll bring that little center corner bit right there up another block, so it just has a little bit extra room to work with and gets ourselves a little bit extra depth. By the center blocks, I mean these four guys right in here. We can bring those up one pretty easily from the top as soon as we get these corners in. Then let's go ahead and jump up here, ender pearl up to the top. Nope, not like that. Oh, hello, endermite. No, bad bug, bad bug. Thank you, bye. No bugs allowed. And nope, not up to the top. There we go. Now we're up to the top. So we can go ahead and do that and bring all these ones up like you. And that should be a pretty decent little well design. I like that. I think that works. I think that's a little on the simpler side. I definitely think that's on the simpler side. And we probably want to go ahead and bring in some of these guys to make it so that it's a little bit more defensible. Or not defensible, but make it harder for things to fall in here. But maybe on this side we actually can bring in some cobblestone wall or cobblestone stairs, make it look like we can walk up here and go down into it. I think that'll be good. Let me go ahead and get some stuff added in here, guys, and I'll be back, y'all. So I went ahead and did a few tiny things around here. I didn't change up too much. I still want to go ahead and bring a little bit of andesite into this to make it seem even more roughened up, and I actually need to extend that block down there. Maybe we can actually just bring the dirt and grass out a little bit more, but we'll come back in and mess with this guy in the next episode. I brought in a cauldron in here and this little bit of stone, or not stone, wow, that's cobblestone. That's stone. The spruce fence right here, I want to bring this down so it's basically like holding up the cauldron that is being used to fetch the water out of here, and that was basically all that I really added in there. Not a whole lot into it. Just thought we could add a few things to get started on that area. I'm excited next episode to come back in there and work on it a little bit more, as well as building up the apple orchard. So those guys will be pretty cool. The mob sounds from underneath everything in here is driving me crazy, so I've turned that sound off for now. And let's go ahead and get a little bit of grass so we can do a little bit of terraforming work out here. But basically I want to try and get two little crop fields in here, if we can, lined up right next to each other. But I know that'll be a little bit difficult with our current setup for everything. But we'll see what we can come up with here. I was hoping that we could go ahead and maybe just extend everything out right throughout here. It doesn't really matter if our grass is coming up right next to where the field is at, like where the vineyard actually starts. We can go ahead and extend our way out here quite a bit probably. And I wanted to do something like, these are just, it's a little garden patch in here that's really not going to be too worthwhile for anybody to harvest. It's more just here, say like the cook in the kitchen or whatever in this building needs some quick veggies or something, they will be able to come down here and grab them, or they'll be able to send a servant down to grab them or something like that. That's the idea behind it. But I wanted to go ahead and first off, we need to go ahead and get our backpack out, grab our diamond hoe, and let's go ahead and start with, nope, we want to swap those guys. If we did you right there, and we did a one gap, and we did you, that could work. Okay, we can actually get these in here. So I want to do basically stretch it along all the way throughout here, and then we'll bring it all the way back like this. Maybe we actually go ahead and shorten that one up, one on that end and one on this side. I have a design in mind for the end of this that I would really like to be able to get. I basically want to put a coarse dirt path border going all the way around it, and then I want to go ahead and use our acacia leaves and bring them basically dotting in around the entire thing, creating a bit of a border for us right throughout here. That's why we we need to shorten it up one more so it actually will work with everything we have here. We're going to go ahead and basically just skip a block on the corner right like that. And we can start by bringing this guy all the way back out here. I think this will actually turn out to be pretty cool as far as just a little bit of a garden patch. Not too much over here, just something that we can use to make things look a little bit more interesting throughout. And basically that. Oh, we can actually go ahead and bring this back one. Wow, I did that wrong. Now, just simply bringing in a bit of coarse dirt going around this guy, it'll look pretty good. We do need to find some places where we can get some little bits of water added in here so that we can have our crops actually be saturated so they can grow more quickly. So we actually need to grab some for some decorating bits. It'd be nice to be able to just simply come in here, grab a few of them, and be all set ready to go. We do have 2 buckets on us, so I'm thinking on either side, we're basically just going to go ahead and line underneath one of the leaf blocks that we have in here. We can go ahead and basically just bring in some stuff or some water. Basically, let's go ahead and grab you and you. And we got probably right in here would be a good spot for 1 water. So we can do that guy. And then maybe right along this guy right here, we can do that. That should saturate them. That should get everything in there. I like that so far. I do want to go ahead and can we put... we need to get a few lights out there just so it actually looks nice. Breaking away from the dark oak fences that we're using for all the vines and everything, I want to go ahead and bring in just a tiny little spruce fence with a torch on top of it. That should light up this area enough to keep them growing efficiently throughout the night. But basically, that's all I wanted to add in here. I'll tell you guys what, though. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab a comment or question of the day now that we've got a bunch of work done today. This thing took me a lot longer to do than I thought it would. So sorry if today's episode is a little bit shorter than typical because the time lapse took quite a while. That was about an hour and a half, 2 hours of work to get everything planted in here. But anyways, let me go find a good old comment or question of the day, and I'll be back with y'all. Hey everybody, and welcome on back to our vineyard. I think we can officially call it a vineyard now. I have added quite a few little details and little things throughout this area. I got my trellis in, guys. I got my trellis design. I'm so excited for this one. I'm really happy I was able to squeeze something like this in here just so you can walk in here. We get over to our little tiny crop carrot garden over here, which I think is just awesome. I love this thing right here. It makes it feel a lot more full and a lot more complete, and I think it was a great addition. Beyond that, we went ahead and got all of these fields in here. Next episode, we are going to be starting out with building up an apple orchard down in this area. Then we'll jump up there and work on those 2 little houses up there that we were planning out earlier in today's episode. But that leads me to our comment or question of the day. This one is coming in from something that we haven't touched for quite a long time now. This one is coming from mbulge41. I totally butchered that. There is one thing I wonder about, and I haven't seen it in your world tours either. But what happened to the Frost Elven project you did right after the desert village? I would love to go back there once more. This project is something that we haven't touched since episode number 34 or 35 of the series, which is well over a year ago now. This is actually episode 169. Which means we got a world tour coming up soon for one. At 175, there'll be a world tour and download. So I want to get this guy finished up, and we got to get that guy finished up before then. So we got a lot of work ahead of us for these next few episodes. So be looking forward to that. But anyways, the Frost Elven village building that we started way long ago, we'll cut over to that here in just a sec. But I wanted to briefly talk to you guys about that. The reason why that one was kind of discontinued, more or less, is because it's so far away from everything else. It's about a 5-10 minute walk through the Nether to even get to it. And then from there, it just wasn't that great. I wanted to bring everything back and create this full immersive world that we're working on here instead of having to travel all over the world to be finding everything. So that's kind of what brought me back home to this region and working up in this area, because I wanted to start bringing everything in here together. So we abandoned that project more or less and came back here and started working on this village right in front of us here, which I think was a really great idea for myself personally. But let's go ahead and jump on over to that guy. All right, we are now in our Ice Elves area, and it looks like we have a little bit of a problem here as well. When we updated to the world to 1.13, we deleted a lot of chunks, and it looks like our underground grotto that we built is no longer an underground grotto, but instead a giant flat wall full of stone again. Coming up here, though, we can take a look at this guy itself, which I thought it was a really cool build. It was basically supposed to be this fantasy, super high ceilinged elven area that I want to incorporate a lot of ice and a lot of light colors into. So there was a lot of quartz gathering and a lot of concrete gathering, which turned into a lot of work. However, it is situated right here in the center of an ice spikes biome, which was super fun to work with. I had a lot of fun building up this guy, and this is what it looks like. It's a little bit different now that we have everything in here as far as the different types of glass and everything. So it's a lot different than I remember it being. I haven't been here for about a year probably. So this guy was looking pretty cool. I really enjoyed this build. I really had a lot of fun doing it. But as I mentioned, our coordinates are now at -5,000, -2,600, which is pretty far away. So hope that kind of makes sense for why we aren't really out here anymore. At the time, or at this point in the series, it doesn't make sense to really be out here because I want everything to be connected in one area and on one continent. But I do like this guy. I do think he looks pretty freaking awesome. It's actually the reason that we made the Guardian farm as well, so we could get Dark Prismarine and all that good stuff. But yeah, this, I guess, is actually the border where the chunks are cut off. That doesn't look too great. Oh well. I guess that's what we're dealing with our chunk updates here. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. Here's a little bit of a glimpse into the past of where our world has been previously. Thank you all so much for watching. Please hit that like button if you did enjoy it. It helps me out a bunch, so I really appreciate you guys doing that. Please hit that subscribe button if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing here, and I will catch you on the flip side.